we're going to be having a short little discussion of why capitalism is the answer. I'm not trying to minimize or downplay any of the challenges that do currently exist, but I would like to express the reasons we're even able to be in this situation and have these conversations is because society has continued to change and evolve over thousands of years, leading to this point. The reason capitalism is succeeding far above any of the other alternatives that have failed in their attempts is because it is the better system. I'm not saying that there's no flaws in the system, but what I am saying is the reason it is dominant as a social system is because it works. It works to some degree, but the systems that have embraced capitalism have definitely advanced and moved further along because of the benefits that capitalism brings.
First of all, we are arguing that capitalism is not the answer. But firstly, we'd like to define what capitalism is. So it is about individual ownership, free markets, competition, providing consumers with the best range of options that they can in society that they can buy, legal protection as well. However, the current form of capitalism that we have is not really any of these things. There's all sorts of distortions. The capitalist system doesn't measure the pollution from an oil company on the oceans, which are a resource for food. The current capitalist system doesn't protect humans as it should, as the UN has defined in its charter, protecting human rights of every living citizen in the world.
We talk a lot about the flaws of capitalism, like how, it doesn't care about oil companies, including the environment, and, how it promoted slavery at one point and all of this stuff. The problem with that is that it doesn't account for the most powerful force in capitalism, which is money. And money comes from us. And the way a system works properly is, according to Thomas Hobbes, he had this theory, this Leviathan theory, that in order for a system to not delve into chaos, it needs a Leviathan, an overarching force that is stronger than anything within it that will keep it in line. And that force in capitalism is money, right? Because if you think about it, what is the one thing that will sway the actions of any corporation ever? Losing money, right? The second they start losing money, they're going to change their behavior. My solution is not to end capitalism. It's to change our habits and change where that money is going.
The reason why capitalism has been dominant is not because it's a better system. The only thing that capitalism is allowing, which is different from communism, because we still have a small chunk of communism in the current system, even though it's capitalism. Because without that small part, I think the whole society would collapse. That means there's no fallback system if you're having a tough time in life, and there's no fallback system to which actually resorts to communism. You would basically get homeless and die on the streets, I guess, and nobody would take care of you. And lucky for us, I mean, in the Netherlands, where I'm from, there is a small system that will, get you housing, get you some money, get you back on your feet, and that has nothing to do with capitalism.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, when we actually compare the different systems like capitalism and communism, it is not the answer for today to think about the economic and the financial systems. Today, we need to think about what we are going through, like about the climate crisis, about the war, about the overpopulation.
As I tell you, I'm from Venezuela, okay? And I see how communists destroyed the country in months. And it was hard to communists to get in Venezuela. For you make war communist, you need to indoctrinate people, because communists can work if everybody has free will. Here, each child sing communist songs. When the people is adult, the indoctrinate level is so big. We have to start that no perfect system. There is no perfect system. But and number one, number two, capitalism is a word, a term used from Marx, like make the opposite of the communism. Communism is all a doctrine. It have the very steps. So anything out of communist is capitalism, and it's not true. First of all, for me, the big problem is education. If you can bring education, not indoctrination, there is two difference between one and the other. So, in how we can educate our people, we will have a good society. We don't need to restrict freedom. We need to make the law equal to each one and guarantee that the law has to be the guide. If you are out of the law, you have to be penalty. And Chile is the first country in South America in education, in work, in money, in development, in everything, thanks to capitalism. The poor is less in Chile than any other country in South America and Latin America.
So thank you for speaking, Antonio. You did make some really good points because I mean there
Thank
is
you.
an extreme side to every point. No, and you've seen the worst of communism. So that is something that needs to be brought to the forefront. That is an extreme side of the political spectrum, but there are others. And what we live in now, at least here in the States, is this extreme since 2008, since like the housing market crash, inequality gap. I mean, it is exponential. I don't think people have really wrapped it around their brain just how much power these 1% have. And I don't think people really realize it because it's something that's not like a Democratic or Republican issue. It's on both sides. And it is unfair and it is a disadvantage, and people don't get the same opportunities. One thing that I love that you said that was like, education is power. And I wish that was something we really enforced here in the States. That's labeled nowadays as a socialist agenda. You're giving government handouts, you're giving extra money to school funding or tutoring funding or any of that kind of funding. That's socialist. That's socialism. That fear has been dictated and it's been brainwashed on people.
A perfect system it not exist until the people get educated enough. You can see now that the young people, it's hard today to read. It's comfortable to hear the news and they take a point of view from the comfort of their cell phones or the TV. So that's the biggest problem that I see today. Manipulation from everybody. Sorry.
No, I'll just say something real quick and then
Go
I'll give
ahead,
it to someone
you.
else. I don't want to like overstay my. You make a really good point because I love that you understand that like education is key. What happens, at least here in the States, is that there's a big incentive, especially with Republicans, cut taxes, cut taxes, cut taxes. No one wants to pay $1 bajillion in taxes, but at the same time, you don't care about where it's being cut from.
When communists take it and start to make this a tool for indoctrinate, I think that's bad because the biggest teaser that we have as a human is our free will, our brain, and our capacity for make critical opinion. That's critical opinion is the first thing that is destroyed in the whole population. They don't want any people that think different than them.
We'll have to call this. I was really impressive from everybody. That was great. That was some such good
Yeah,
points.
I enjoyed
really
this.
well
I
thought
mean,
out and
went in really
different
scared,
styles
but
Yes.
too. And yeah,
It was
so
good.
but yeah, let's just continue the discussion.